Today's plan was to boat another section of the South Platte River, but I think I've changed my mind. Why? Take a look. I'll point it out to you. There's baby ducks walking in the river, and I have a feeling that my boat takes more water to float than the length of a baby duck's legs. So what does that tell me? I need to find a more reliable gauge of the river than the one I've been checking online. Now, mind you, that one is for a part of the river that's farther north than here, but I figured it would be consistent. And obviously it is not, because it is way too shallow to float here. Well, here's the heart of the problem with the South Platte River, and it starts right here at Chatfield Reservoir. And because it's so low, as we can see, there isn't that much water available to send down the river. So instead, what are we going to do? We're going to get in the fold-up kayak and go out here and paddle around, because at least we'll be doing something. Looks like we're going to have to watch the weather a little bit today. Well, these dead trees, which used to be a forest by the side of the reservoir, give us a really good indication of where the water level has been in the past. We can see this dirt mark right here, which shows us that sometime not very long ago, kind of the mud and gunk was up to here. But actually I can see lines further up, maybe all the way even to, let's see, can we get this in shot? Right about there. And then the final 3 feet stood up above the water. And maybe you can actually tell that the top of that at one point was sawed off by a beaver once upon a long time ago. And what does all of that tell us? Well, that the reservoir is very, very low, and hence the lack of resources to fill up the river, and hence the lack of me kayaking down the river, alas. But let's paddle around the dead forest, because what the heck? Well, if you look over there at those tree trunks, they've all had their tops chewed off by beavers, which leads me to only one conclusion, and that is that the reservoir at some point must have been that high, because the beavers certainly didn't climb up there. They must have swam over to the top and chopped them off. So, literally 6 feet higher, at least, than it is right now. It's the end of May now, and that means whatever meager snow we got this winter has, for the most part, already melted off. There is going to be no great deluge of water coming down off the mountains to save us all. And what does that mean for my chances of paddling the South Platte, doing my rollerblade kayak thing? Well, there's one remaining strategy, and that is to wait for a rainstorm and then go the next day, or maybe the day after. If we get a good one, it will bring up the water levels somewhat from the rain runoff, and then it's got to dry out enough for me to rollerblade, and then maybe I can still complete my plan to rollerblade the urban portion of the South Platte River. Anyway, stay tuned, find out what happens.